the format will be, we have the 7 companies, they're pitching for 3 minutes. But just so you know, we also have our syndicate members joining us today in Jason's syndicate, a few hundred folks. And then we're also live streaming this event. So we have 1,000 or so signed up. But we'll get started in 1 second as we let folks come in. Welcome to our syndicate members and anyone who's joining us on the live stream. This is LA21, their public demo day. Super excited to introduce them to the world. Incredibly strong cohort. For those of you who don't know, the Launch Accelerator, so we run about 8 to 10 classes per year. We have 7 companies per cohort. We have what we call our Goldilocks zone, which is products in market before Series A with some early product market fit, customers, revenue, traction, et cetera, all that great stuff. And this is their last week. So the format is the 7 companies will present for exactly 3 minutes. And what I'll do is that I'll take questions. We have an awesome panel of investor judges. We'll let them introduce themselves and they're going to ask some questions. I'll also take some questions from our syndicate members who are coming in. Syndicate members, there's a Q&A box. So if you have questions for the founders, please use that Q&A box and also tag the name of the company. They can go by pretty fast. So we want to make sure that we get your questions addressed. So I'll get some questions. The founders will write them all down and then they'll answer them in a row. They have 2 minutes to answer those questions. At the end, we'll do a little judging. We'll ask our panelist judges to give us their top 3. And we'll also take a poll with the syndicate members to give us their top. And then we'll end. So welcome, Jason. You want to jump in and say hi?
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Launch Accelerator's 21st class. We have 22 going on now, and we're about to accept 23. Things are going great. Valuations are going a little bonkers out there, but you'll find that these startups have really solid traction and very reasonable valuations. As I've advised them that closing their rounds quickly and getting back to work is always better than massively optimizing or over-optimizing for valuation. Hopefully they take my advice, but it's their companies. Things are going great for us over here. Our syndicate is growing wildly. We now have 7,800 members, adding 400 to 600 members a month. And the last 3 or 4 deals we did were 1.53 and $3.4 million. So we did more in the last 3 deals than we did in the first, I think, 20 deals, which is to say, if you have a company doing a Series A, we are now in the Series A business. Co-leading Series A is on a regular basis, and Maureen on our team does that. So seed, accelerator, and now Series A. At our firm, we're 18 people, added 8 people this year. And yeah, things are going quite well. And we're happy to participate with all the investors here. We believe that early stage is a team sport. And so we're delighted to have so many of our fellow teammates here. I see my friend Ben and Laurel and a bunch of familiar faces. So really appreciate y'all coming, and you're going to love these companies. Let's get to it.
All right, great. So what we'll do is we'll have the companies present, and investors, I'll ask you to introduce yourselves, when you ask your first question. So we'll bring up our first founder, Dion from Blayze.
Hey, everyone.
All right, Dion, you have 3 minutes to pitch. Are you ready to go?
I am.
All right, 3, 2, go.
Hey, everyone. My name is Dion. I'm the co-founder of Blayze. We enable anyone everywhere to learn like a pro with a pro. Meet Ricky Taylor. He's a professional race car driver and among the 30,000 plus professional athletes and coaches in just the US, making less than 100K a year. They're looking for more ways to monetize their knowledge in a format that lets them work from anywhere at any time. Same time, meet Jeff, an amateur race car driver that's tired of losing. So he naturally looks for a coach, but finds there's no good coaches in his area. Good coaches are really expensive. When he finally finds the coach he wants to work with, he can't even match the schedule to learn from him. Luckily, Blayze is here for both of them. Using Blayze, Jeff simply records himself performing any action he wants to improve using any camera. So he already has that footage from a GoPro on his car. So he logs into his Blayze account, selects the sport, his coaching option. He can let us select a coach for him based on data points, or he can choose his own coach. He selects Ricky, pays, whenever he's ready, simply drags and drops that video file right in here, adding any notes he wants his coach to know. Then his coach, Ricky, logs into his dashboard where he sees his open session with Jeff, goes to his subscribers page, receives an overview of all of his customers in one spot, selects Jeff, and now he has this entire history with Jeff in one place as well. So you can see what they were working on in their previous coaching session or any previous coaching sessions to pick up where they left off. Then on a rainy Tuesday night, Ricky films this short form personalized coaching session. Here's Ricky talk about complex things like how brake pressure generates front grip in a car, and then can annotate on the screen to show Jeff exactly where to place the car, things you can only do through video analysis. So as they work together over the last 18 months, Jeff went from finishing in the bottom 10% of races to winning his first championship. What would have cost $2,000 a day to learn from Ricky before Blayze only cost an average of $127. So Jeff's saving 96% on his coaching, and Ricky's 10xing his client base. We're currently selling coaching sessions across 5 different sports with motorsports, soccer, hydrofoil, SUP, and surfing. And we're launching into more traditional sports over the next 2 years. In fact, we're already pre-selling sessions in basketball and launching that this month. We have a business model focused on pay per session, price ranging from $34 to $349, depending on what sport you play or how much video you upload, or a monthly plan for $179 a month, which includes additional features. We grew revenue quickly last year, ending the year with over $130,000 in revenue. This year, we're up more than 100% year over year, and we've seen 20% a month over month MRR growth since the start of the year. We have a customer acquisition model focused on pay-per-click marketing, brand partnerships. For example, Mazda Motorsports buys coaching sessions from us to give to the customers, and educational partnerships. All 3 of these we can replicate in every market we enter. That's currently driving a blended CAC of $107 with a lifetime value of $442. As we continue to scale within sports, we'll hit a $10 million annual revenue run rate by 2023. Further scaling within sports into adjacent vertical markets like arts, music, dance, as well as starting to digitalize celebrity sports summer camps, we'll be at a $100 million annual revenue run rate by 2026, only needing 21,000 subscribers to get there. I spent 10 years professional athlete and coach. I needed Blayze to be able to scale my own business. So I teamed up with Christopher Roberts, my co-founder and CTO, to build Blayze. I was the first coach on the platform, went from working with 5 people to more than 100 in our first year. Again, we're Blayze. We're enabling anyone everywhere to learn like a pro with the pro. Love to answer any questions you have.
All right. Well done, Dion. Okay, investors, I'm going to call on you in alphabetical order. This starts with you, Amit. Can you please first introduce yourself, your name, your firm, your average check size, and if you have a thesis, and we'll drop that info into the chat room. And then your question, please.
Great. Amit Patel with Owl Ventures. We're an education technology focused venture capital fund. Stage agnostic, so anything from seed round all the way to pre-IPO. Great job with the presentation. A couple of questions from my side would be, which side of the marketplace is harder to recruit for, the coaches or the folks that are looking to learn? And then if you could talk a bit about retention as well.
All right, thanks so much. Andrew Gluck.
Hi, doing Andrew Gluck. Name of the fund is Irreverent. Typical check size is 10K. Really focused on early stage and really focus anything from seed or earlier, and focus on direct to consumer, next gen commerce, and ad tech. My question is around the video component, the recording component. Do you guys have templates that you tend to recommend for the participant so that they're taking particular angles, particular views?
All right, thank you, Andrew. And other end, Andrew Lee.
Here comes the money.
Hey, everyone. It's Andrew Lee from Initialized Capital, Honey Badgers of Venture Capital. We write checks as low as 500K all the way up to 4.5 million. And we primarily do seed, and we also look at some Series A if we've missed it within the seed. We tend to be a generalist firm. So for us, it's literally anything that gets to scale. So most of the time we do tend toward more software. My question for Blayze was pretty simple, which is related to sort of the concentration amongst your customers, whether it was sort of repeats or within particular sports, for example. I would love to hear more detail on that.
All right, thank you so much. And let's take a couple from our syndicate members. Have you considered working with CoachUp from Anonymous? And Francis is asking, what do you think your total addressable market is? So you want to tackle those, Dion? You got 2 minutes, 3 to go.
Absolutely. Awesome. So let me start with Amit from Owl Ventures on which side of the market's harder to really capture. Definitely the demand side. Coaches need something like this, a digital presence to help them scale their business, and are looking for productivity tools. So from the coach side, we have a nearly 100% hit rate on who we reach out to that ends up joining our platform. So demand side is harder. We have to educate some users as well on kind of video analysis. Normal in the pros, new and amateur sports overall. In terms of retention, which I think also hits a little bit on Andrew Lee's question from Initialized as well. So most of our data has been on our pay per session. We've recently just launched our monthly plan to customers at the beginning of this year. We've seen 0 churn over the past 4 months. So From our pay per session, our first cohort of first 100 customers, they've 60% repeat purchase rate, and they bought an average of 6 coaching sessions. That cohort was from our motorsports section, where the average driver only competes 3 times a year. So what we've seen is that when they become a repeat customer, 60%, they're buying every single time they compete. So as we launch into more traditional sports with higher frequency rates like a soccer, we're really excited about the potential of that as well. So let me continue to hit on Andrew Lee's questions. From concentration amongst customers, we've just started to launch into our new sports like stand-up paddle, soccer, basketball. So the vast majority of our customers come from motorsports. Motorsports actually isn't the best application of our product. It's my background, so it was the easiest place to drive revenue to date, but it's harder to film yourself. There's Wi-Fi issues at racetracks, things like that. So we're able to see that we're really picking up pretty quickly on these new sports as well. But motorsports is definitely our number one driver. And in terms of concentration of customers, we have nearly about a 68% of purchases come from repeat customers today. So high stickiness on the platform. For Andrew Gluck from Irreverent Virtues, do we recommend a specific template for what to film? It depends a little bit on the sport. One thing we learned when we launched into soccer is that we needed to recommend what to film. So what we've now built into the platform is based on your position, your experience level. We have specific videos that you should film, how to film them, something that you can easily do in your backyard or from the field. And then for the syndicate, really quickly on the TAM, 12 million people paying for private or semi-private coaching every year. We grow every single market we enter by reducing friction points and reducing costs. I'm out of time, but I'll answer in the chat.
All right. Well done, Dion.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, Aisha from Moment.
Hi, everyone. My name is Aisha, and I'm the founder of Moment, the first beverage that lets you drink your meditation. Not long ago, I used to work in a corporate job where my days would be filled with Zoom meetings, to-dos, deadlines. Come 3 p.m., my mind would be frazzled and I would be stressed out. The usual go-to was to have an afternoon coffee that was laden with sugar, calories, and caffeine. Not only did I find that unhealthy, it would just leave me more jittery and anxious. So I started having more and more adaptogens, some that I had grown up with, such as ashwagandha, tulsi, and L-theanine. Recently, they have also been scientifically proven to balance stress and generate the same alpha brainwaves as does meditation. They gave me the mental clarity and stress relief that I needed. I felt ready to take on the world. So naturally, I started a company to help others access the same feeling. I poured all the adaptogens into a beverage and made sure that it was refreshing and healthy with no added sugar and very low calories. And the customer response has been phenomenal. Our core customers love it. As Ashley says, love the feeling Moment gives me. Plus, it's healthy, just subscribe. Which is why, despite bootstrapping this company 10 months back, we've been able to generate about $70,000 in monthly revenue. We're building the first online beverage company, and that's exciting for 3 reasons. Number one, it's an untapped market with only 2% beverages online. 2, it allows you to build deep customer connections. And 3, the daily consumption nature drives high repeat usage. We've already proven that this works. 35% of our orders come from repeat purchasers, and we have 500 subscribers generating an annual subscription value of $460. What makes it highly scalable is our acquisition strategy, with 80% customers coming from free channels such as online marketplaces, physical showrooming, and partnerships. We just launched a collaboration with one of the largest lingerie brands in the world, Victoria's Secret, Pink. And that is exciting because it connects to our core customer, which is 70% women, ages 25 to 55 years old. They have busy lives, but they care about health and believe in self-care. This is a massive market opportunity. 80% people feel stressed on the job, 40% women want healthy products, and functional beverages and teas is a $250 billion market growing at 8% per year. 100 million is just a sliver of the market. To get to 10 million, the path is simple. You need 10,000 subscribers, and to get to 100 million, you just need 100,000 subscribers. Our at scale margins are going to be about 70%, which is higher than most beverages given our focus online. To do this successfully, you need both supply chain and growth experience, and we have the best team for that. I've spent 13 years in consumer supply chain, and my co-founder has worked on digital growth in some of the most innovative companies in the world. We own the 3 p.m. occasions, and beverages are just the beginning. I'm really excited for you to try it and would love to hear your questions.
Thank you, Aisha. All right, Ben, you're up next. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Ben Narrison. I am a venture partner at NEA. Check size wise, NEA writes checks from about $1.5 million up to $150 million. As a venture partner, though, I have a lot of flexibility. So over the last 4 years where I've been there, I've been doing personal investing as well, and my checks are typically $50,000 or $100,000. Also, Jackie, I'll make this the place for the live announcement. First ever, on Monday, we announced internally that Scott Zendel, the head of the firm, and NEA are backing me to spin out a freestanding seed fund. So it'll be an independent fund. NEA will be the anchor. So, at that point, my shift of attention will be all about seed formation through seed. Some others have said sort of something like that, and you have to do that. Anyway, so my question here would be all around the margin journey. You're at 30% now, you want to get to 70% scale, maybe a little more color there, particularly helping me understand how, beverages, it's a relatively heavy product. And so I can see how you get great margin on the core product. Are those margins including your shipping landed to the customer? And because that doesn't seem like you can save much on that over time, even though you can save much on everything else.
All right. Thank you so much, Ben. And that's awesome news. Thank you for sharing that. Cindy. Cindy, you're on mute.
Yeah, unmuted. So, hey, so Illuminate Ventures is a seed stage fund. We invest primarily in the enterprise software category, future of work, cloud applications, SaaS applications, et cetera. We're investing out of our third fund. Our check sizes are typically at minimum 250 up to $1.5 million. And I would say we have a pretty concentrated portfolio. We only do about 15 investments out of each fund. So my questions are, there are a couple. I didn't see anything about how this compares in terms of calories and energy profile and some of those kinds of things to the drinks that you were comparing it to, that you could waste your calories and your sugar and everything else on. And then also, I've seen, because we have a company that's in the analytics space in CPG, that the single serve beverages have had a really tough time through COVID. And I'm wondering how you come out of that, because, companies aren't stocking the refrigerators with anything because no one's there. And so a lot of the order sizes for any single serve beverage have really gone down pretty dramatically.
All right. Thank you, Cindy. Laurel.
Hey, everybody. My name is Laurel Toby. I'm the co-managing partner of Supernode Ventures. We're a small early stage fund. We do pre-seed and seed. My background is I'm a journalist, business journalist, and then I started a company myself and had a successful exit. We do 50 to 100K checks. We're a generalist fund. We don't have a particular concentration, but we like B2B, SaaS, fintech, enterprise, healthcare. We don't do a lot of media investing, ironically. And then the way we help our founders is through media and marketing, both connections and just expertise in general. I guess my question for you, Aisha, is around brand extensions beyond beverages. I'd just be curious to know what you're thinking about as you go forward.
All right. Thank you, Laurel. I want to take a couple from the syndicate. Craig is asking, will your product grow the market, or will you have to primarily take share from incumbents? And Mauricio is asking, do you manufacture the product? So you want to take those, Aisha? 2 minutes.
Yeah, great. Awesome. Thank you so much for the great questions. Ben, congratulations on your one. In terms of the margin journey, currently the 30% does include shipping, and to your point, the shipping aspect of it is going to decline, but not as significantly as the product costs and the production costs are as we hit scale on all different fronts. The three big things on the production and manufacturing side is, one, we are going to start moving to printed cans. Two, as we get better rates as we scale from our suppliers, and three, manufacturing at scale is just going to drive down our costs, and that's how we will reach the 70%. In terms of Cindy's question on how this compares in terms of calories and energy profile, Cindy, in terms of calories, each can is about between 10 to 15 calories, so a lot lower compared to coffee, which on average is, depending on the type you have, but it could be anything between 15 to 200 calories. In terms of the energy profile, what we have seen is that customers actually want mental clarity and stress relief during a busy workday, which is the occasion that we're targeting. They don't necessarily need energy, at that time. And so what we provide is boost in brain functioning without necessarily the physical energy that sugar would otherwise give you. A new question on single serve beverages and that being tough. Completely agree. Retail has been tough with COVID, and that's why we are focusing our energy and resources online, which is a new and growing market. Online groceries during COVID have increased by 40%. Customers are getting more and more comfortable ordering beverages online as well. And we are really excited about the overall market growth there. In terms of Laurel's question on brand extension around beverages, definitely. That's totally a part of the plan. We thought about other experiences and products around this occasion. And I'm going to answer the rest of the questions in the chat.
All right. Thank you, Aisha. Okay, next up is Z from Space. 3, 2, go.
Perfect. Thank you. Hey, everyone. I'm Zeeshan Sheikh, founder and CEO of Space, and we're building audio chat for business. I'd like to introduce you to Luke, the founder and CEO of Friday, and he wants to talk to his customers. For him and many others with a SaaS product, getting customer feedback and engagement is key to building a better product. But there's friction here. Customers don't really want to get on a Zoom. Chatbots don't help here. Someone will reply to an email, however, email is not conversational. Drop-in audio, on the other hand, is an entirely different experience. We've seen how millions of consumers love to engage using the audio-only experience that's on Clubhouse and Twitter. Other platforms are also adding audio chat for the users as well. But how do you get audio chat on your product under your brand where your customers already are? To help answer that, I'd love to show you how Luke runs casual audio rooms on his product with his customers using Space. Luke installs Space on his website using 3 lines of code. When he goes live, users on his website see that he's hosting a session. They click the link in the pop-up and join the audio chat. They can engage with Luke as a speaker, or they can listen to an ongoing conversation as an audience. Luke can even share his screen and turn the discussion into an impromptu webinar. These audio sessions can be recorded, creating a rich content archive. When his users visit the website and no live sessions are active, they can be prompted to listen to a previously recorded content. They can browse past sessions and consume the content directly from his product, just like a podcast or a pre-recorded webinar. Space literally helps Luke and his team talk to his customers, where he gets product feedback, answers questions, and engages with his users directly on his product without having to take them to a different platform or ask them to get on a Zoom. We just publicly launched at the end of April and have 211 users that have signed up for the product. 72 have run at least one session, and 21 have run at least 3 or more sessions. We see 3 main use cases from businesses wanting audio chat on their website: conversational marketing to host customer-facing town halls, AMA, product drops, and casual webinars; inbound sales to immediately interact with a qualified lead; and customer service where users can ask for hands-on help, all without the friction of video, media links, invites, signups, and other stuff. Our focus is conversational marketing, and we're targeting SaaS startups interested in adding audio as a channel to build closer relationships with their direct audience and customer base as their beachhead. We're leveraging freemium to help focus on distribution and growth. Over summer, we'll introduce paid plans that are billed per host per month. With 3,500 customers paying $250 per month on average, we get to 10 million by 2024. And with 30,000 customers, we get to 100 million by 2026. My background is in enterprise product and leading teams. Our team is diverse with a strong focus on product, community, and growth. Again, I'm Zeeshan Sheikh, CEO and founder of Space, and we're building audio chat for business.
Okay, thank you, Z. All right, Mercedes.
So great to meet you all. My name is Mercedes Bent, and I'm a partner at Lightspeed Venture Partners, where we're investing check sizes of about 2 million to 200 million in 7 regions around the globe. And we also have a scout fund, which I'm the co-lead for, which does check sizes of 25 to 100K, so a little bit earlier stage as well. And in terms of my question for you, it seems really interesting. I'm curious in terms of the back end of how you expect companies to manage this. Do they need to set up and manage a call center, or are they expected to do it with their own staff if they're not doing pre-recorded, or is it outsourced? Curious to hear about that.
Thank you, Mercedes. Robert.
Everyone, nice to meet you all. My name is Robert. I'm at Maven Ventures. We're an early stage consumer software focused fund. Our typical check size right now is about $1 million into companies that are raising seed capital. My question for you is around your sales process and who exactly within the company is going to be your champion to want to use the software and support it at the company.
Great, thanks, Robert. Scott.
Scott Coleman from Ignition Partners. We are an early stage venture firm focused on enterprise software, typically seed and Series A, and our check sizes go from 500K up to about $8 million. So my question is, how do you fit into the workflow of a company that may have been looking at or using tools like Customer or Intercom already? Is this another tool that fits into that workflow, or do you have to displace something that's already out there?
All right, thanks, Scott. And grab some from the syndicate. Tyler's asking, what happens when Intercom, et cetera, build the same feature? So what's your moat? And Ashwin's asking, how do you ensure only the users of an app attend the space session? Do you have SSO? I'll take those, Z.
Sure.
All right, 2 minutes.
The questions, Mercedes. So the person who's running, or the team that's running these, is going to be the marketing team most usually. So if it's not marketing, depending on if they're a seed or pre-seed company, depending on their growth, it could be the founders. So what we're seeing is a trend for Gen Z, millennials, and this on both the buyer and on the founder side. They're trying to have more building in public discussions. They're trying to have more transparency on how they build product they go after, and they're trying to build a strong relationship with their customers, because that basically builds an organic moat around their product. They have kind of like Salesforce and their tribe around it. So there isn't a call center play here, because again, it's going after the same use case for what you would do for webinars. And webinars traditionally are boring. I'm opinionated. I haven't shown up to one ever. But I think what people look for in webinars is what they're expecting or hoping to get is maybe 50 minutes of a discussion and a 10-minute demo. What they get instead is 55 minutes of a demo and 5 minutes of Q&A. So I think what we're doing here is changing how those discussions happen by making those discussions more engaging, more casual, not completely about just the sales process, but about building the relationship. So I think, Robert, that all kind of goes into your question around the sales process. So in most cases, like Luke, it's a SaaS founder early in his company who's trying to get that customer feedback. So we'd be selling to him, trying to get him to use the product, to have these discussions with his customers. Instead of having them on Clubhouse or Twitter Spaces, we're just having it on his product, because those users are already there, especially for a SaaS product. So really, I think who we go after here is maybe in the beginning, the webinar kind of audience. So instead of doing a boring webinar, just do a fun, casual discussion with your customers, email your top 10, bring them on and have a casual discussion. So I think the sales process is more tweaked for that for now. And eventually, as the product gets more richer, we would then look at displacing full on your traditional Zoom webinar and your boring kind of software. Scott, how do we fit into a workflow of a company? I think what we're seeing is that we have these 200 or so users. They're all over the place.
Okay, see, sorry.
I'll answer in the comments.
Yeah, great. And also go ahead. There's more questions for you in the Q&A box.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Z. All right, next up, we have Cam from FreeByrd.
All right. Hi, I'm Cam, CEO and co-founder of FreeByrd, the only platform you need to soar online as a creative entrepreneur or coach. Professionals of the creative industries love what they do and are brilliant in their field of specialty, but are seriously lacking the knowledge and skill set to digitize and monetize their skills and influence online. I know this well because for 13 years, I stood side by side with them as a traveling hairstylist in 3 of the most competitive markets and saw the constant struggle as I'd hop in Uber after Uber and the driver was a fellow professional. This broke my heart. I knew we could do better for the professionals beautifying and healing the world. So I set out to find a solution to set these pros free of limitations and the fear of tech, but was left in want, overwhelm, and pure confusion on how any creative professional could attempt to piece these together, let alone afford them all. So I created it, FreeByrd, the ultimate content management system, website and funnel builder, step-by-step, ready to go, course builder, e-commerce solution, scheduling, and personal CRM. Now you can be in control of your business on one easy to use and affordable platform. We offer all of that in 3 affordable DIY monthly memberships, allowing you to cancel unnecessary SaaS subscriptions and save time and money. A great example of one of our FreeByrd users, Sarai Spear, maximizing her influence and reach with her blonding classes, made $168,572 in less than 6 months. Once Sarai saw what was possible, she dove in. And today she is utilizing our subscription feature for her private IG and has added an additional 6,000 MRR, monetizing her influence all in one place. For those who work with their heart and their hands, FreeByrd sets you free and gives you the freedom to create your future your way. compared to some of our competitors who are confusing, clunky, and expensive, requiring you to hire a developer, designer, third-party integration, code, and more, leaving creatives to waste time and money, never getting their stuff off the ground. Not our FreeByrds, they are flying. Today, we have 92 users, 32 paying, giving us a solid free to paid conversion rate of 34%. Go back one, with an average revenue per user of $988 and a 2% churn rate. Our philosophy has been quality over quantity as we work to simplify our platform, asking the top 1% of professionals and coaches what they need to embrace business online. And I am proud to say we are now ready to scale. Kicking off our target sales efforts with our beachhead market of beauty and wellness coaches. For the next 6 months, obtaining 150 new coaches by end of year with a month-over-month growth rate of 23%. We will continue to expand our reach into synergistic verticals such as yoga, fitness, alternative medicine, and personal development. With FreeByrd's simple approach to online business and our growing strategic partnerships, we are the go-to company to create an elevated and streamlined experience online. And we are your FreeByrd team here to see you soar. FreeByrd is ready. Are you? Thank you, everyone. I'm ready for your questions.
All right. Thank you, Cam. Back around the horn. Amit, question for Cam.
Yeah, thank you. Couple questions from my side. If you could double click on kind of the features and functionality that make this platform, specifically useful for creative professionals, as opposed to some of the other competitors that you mentioned out there. And then the second question is, besides the premium membership, are you thinking about any other ways to kind of monetize on users as well?
All right. Thanks so much. Andrew Gluck.
Thanks. A few questions here too. How do you plan to help with customer acquisition? If you could drill down a little bit on that, helping your creators. You mentioned something around the core demo being beauty, and then specifically talked about the top 1% of creators. Can you talk a little bit about that and how that plays into like the affordability piece, if that's really as important for those top performers?
Thank you. Andrew Lee.
Hello, darkness. I just want to say that sometimes I feel pretty lonely, but it seems that the FreeByrd folks who are using the product are just as potentially lonely without this product. So it's like really exciting that the hairstylist who has really amazing hair is not nearly as lonely as I am. That makes me feel really good. But I think the big question I have is related to, I think for a lot of these professionals who are using these websites, is the biggest problem really retention, or is it really that you're really focused on customer acquisition? Curious to know whether it's a marketing vehicle or whether it's really about like optimizing for your existing customers.
All right. Thank you so much. And a couple from our syndicate. Adita is asking, how does this beat Squarespace? So the competition question. And Francis, clarification. Do you have 23% month-over-month revenue growth now, or is that a target for the future? Okay. 2 minutes, Cam.
All right, I am ready. So let's dive in with the competition question, because that's always one of my favorites. Yes, we have competitors out there and they're wonderful, but for creative professionals who have an extreme learning curve to tech, who don't even use email, they don't know where to begin. It's so overwhelming. They have not the slightest clue. So what we did for the last 3 years was observe them very closely and identify in the markets what they needed to use that same in-person skill set, but apply it online. What we learned is absolutely everyone needs to be online. It's the 21st century, but the problem is they don't know how to deploy that skill set. So we have identified who our best go-to-market and customer acquisition target is, and that's the coaches. They're empowering their communities to be able to do what they learned to do with their skill sets, and they're passing that off. Our platform has simplified that, as from your website to your online store, everything is in one place. So you're in control of how you want to share your business. Great example. These professionals a lot of them are influencers, and they work with brands and companies, but they don't know how to keep track of their email. They don't know how to do any type of marketing. So we're helping them optimize their influence with brands, with their customers, and really sharing their skill sets back into their communities. And again, that is why we are so heavily focused on the coaches and the community builders, because they have the influence in the people who need our resources. How we're greatly different than Squarespace or Wix. Everything we do is in one place, and we can honestly do it cheaper. We're coming at this with a solution and outcome-driven approach to help people get there and not have to take endless YouTube classes and so forth to figure out how to build a business online. We've solved that problem for them with our templates and funnels, turnkey ready in these markets. So professionals just have to see them and apply them to our solutions. So FreeByrd is setting people free by allowing them to not have to have the headache of tech and getting to see them online and fly. I'll answer any more questions a little bit later. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, well done, Cam. Next up is Justin from Boostopia.
All right. Hey, everyone. I am Justin with Boostopia, and we are performance and operations management for support teams. I want to introduce you to Kristen to start us off. She's the support manager at Public Rec. She has over 11 different team members, and they live inside of Zendesk to do their job. But her role is still inside of spreadsheets. But she has a problem. Social media is blowing up with complaints, boss is on her case, and she has to figure out where the problem is coming from, what to do about it, and hold that team accountable to solving that problem quickly. What she used to have to do was log into her team's ticketing system, look at conversations that have already happened, scan through, try to find a trend, go back to the list, click through, scan through, try to find a trend, and maybe 30 minutes later is able to understand even just what's going on. And the problem here is ticketing systems, there are many of them, are built only for the role of the support agent, not their boss, the manager. So now with Boostopia, we plug into that underlying activity data, enrich it with time and cost data from their payroll system, and help teams understand why companies are actually reaching out in the first place. So we were able to discover that the order status question type led to the spike in tickets, and we could see that by individual team member. In this case, we discovered that Aisha was taking 23 minutes to solve this issue. So we could create a goal with just 2 clicks and bring over that information from the reporting module. And then with another couple clicks, assign a goal to that team member to improve really quickly to help solve that problem. So order status questions are the source of the spike in tickets. Aisha most needed training and was able to hold them accountable to getting that things done quickly. This led to a 90% reduction in volume, saving dozens of hours and thousands of dollars. She can't live without us now. She says that Boostopia is helping me consolidate all of my reporting, goal management, and coaching into one product, saving a ton of time and a ton of headache. We're building the only all-in-one support operations platform that is built for managers to handle performance management and operations management. That is the other side of the coin of someone's existing ticketing system that they already have today. Our competition is still largely spreadsheets. There are some who focus on just one of the 9 functional areas of management, but workflows are completely broken, and there's no place for a manager to live to do all of their job. Our beachhead market has been e-commerce, but we're quickly expanding into other verticals with a $9 a month per user for our reporting product, with our first workflow product, our goals product at $20 a month per user being a manager or an agent, with some additional coaching features for our service options. As we introduce our other modules, we'll be able to move up our per user price significantly over time. We're at $10,000 a month in recurring SaaS revenue and growing quickly with a category creation, bottom-up opportunity with a $1,500 average MRR to date. We have a clear $1 billion opportunity. Every company paying for a ticketing system seat today will pay for Boostopia to optimize the people working within that ticketing system. Teams only need to drive a 2% improvement in each individual team member for us to be free. We are a no-brainer. We've assembled a team ready to tackle this problem. This is my second startup, my first bootstrapped e-commerce company to over $22 million a year in just 48 months. I'm Justin. This is Boostopia, Performance and Operations Management for support teams. I look forward to your questions.
All right. Thanks so much. Ben.
So help me understand what an ultimate outcome would look like. It feels like a tool or service within a subset of tools would be the ultimate home, in that you're selling to one part of the organization, but probably that's strongest done with a group that sells to more parts of the organization. So a little more on sort of where you see the ultimate end game on this, 3, 5, 7, 10 years from now.
All right. Thank you. Cindy. Cindy, you're on mute.
Here we go. Yeah, I have a bazillion questions. That's why I'm like, oh my God, which one do I start with? So I'd love to hear about how you're handling integrations and partnerships. How do you leverage some of the CRM tools that you're talking about that collect the ticket data, et cetera, and make them your friend, not foe, so that they don't feel like they need to go and create this themselves, and what prevents them actually from creating this themselves? I'll stop there.
All right. Thank you. Laurel.
I was also going to ask about integrations, but Cindy beat me to the punch on that one. I would love to know the type of research you did with customers to find out how much of a pain point it is and how much they're willing to spend to actually solve for this pain point. And are the users going to be the people who sign the check? That's really one of my big questions.
All right, great. Looking from Syndicate. I'll grab one more from our judges. Robert.
I'm going to pass on this one.
Okay. Thank you. Mercedes?
My question is in terms of who you're selling into within the organization and any interesting trends you've seen there about the sales process.
All right. Sounds great. You want to tackle those, Justin?
Sounds good.
Do to go.
All right, Ben, in terms of starting off, in terms of outcomes, we think there's a large enough opportunity here that this is a freestanding generational company. And the reason we believe that is because the first step for us in aggregating the underlying data sources, making that available in a singular layer of workflow tools, will become the system of record for the agent and management performance data. The system of record for customer communication already exists at the ticketing layer, but that next step is where the opportunity is. And once all that is in the same place, we have a lot of applications with AI and machine learning to look at applications to really increase the effectiveness of management teams to support agents to do their best work. So Cindy, in terms of handling integration so far, so we've started off just integrating with Zendesk, most well-documented APIs, a significant amount of market share. We also have a Shopify integration to power some of our reporting right now. The next 3 ticketing systems will be Gorgeous, Customer, and Intercom, as well as a Stripe integration as well. And 100%, we are friend, not foe. We don't want to touch the ticketing system layer. They can fight that out to the death. It's a commoditized layer we have no interest in getting into. So definitely partnerships are the way to go. We have active contacts at all of those companies here now. So Laurel, to your question there as well, on how much of a pain point things are for people today. So the big conversation that we have with companies is often, hey, you have 10 support agents right now. How long before you need to hire more? What if you didn't have to, right? We're seeing companies decrease inbound support volume by as much as 30% and helping agents increase their output by as much as 20%. So it's saving hundreds of thousands of dollars a year for teams who have this information and are effectively managing and growing their teams. In terms of the 2 kind of customer profiles, so we have teams with less than 30 support team members. The decision maker is the head of operations who signs the checks. Over that size, it's the head of support that does that. And I'll answer the rest of the questions in the chat. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thanks, Justin. Well done. Next up, Nick from OneShop. All right. 3, 2, go.
Hey, everybody. My name is Nick McHenry, and we are OneShop, social communication for retail. Now, I want you to meet Candy, a sales associate at one of the retailers on our platform, Tootsie's, who has an upscale women's wear boutique, does the majority of their sales through repeat customers, and the best way to drive these sales is through personal outreach. Unfortunately for Candy and her team, this is an extremely manual process, mainly done from their own phones. So most customers are completely ignored the minute they leave the store, causing a 40% lost revenue opportunity year over year. On the customer side, Anita loves shopping at Tootsie's because of the in-store personalized experience that she gets. But like most of us, she's busy. So she also shops online because she likes the convenience, but she's overwhelmed by the amount of options and lack of service she receives. That's where OneShop comes in. With OneShop, Candy has all of her clients like Anita organized right on her phone. So when the newest delivery of the brand Alexis comes in, she simply searches for anyone who's bought that brand or comparable brands to target customers who might want to be reached out to when it comes to this delivery. She can then use templates to further text those customers rapidly, making sure to personalize along the way if she wishes. Anita, not needing to download an app, can just text Candy back like she would a friend and ask her directly for dinner party suggestions. Candy can then help her using e-commerce products or products she shot straight from the floor because it's not online, style those into custom looks, and then suggest that to Anita via a shoppable hyperlink. Anita now can browse with the convenience of shopping online and personalization of shopping in store. And then we believe there's a larger opportunity to layer the network of brands on top of this platform so brands can give exclusive content, digital assets, dropship product, all of which Candy can access and then forward onto her customers to further enhance the customer experience. In the last 7 months, Tootsie's has done over 11,000 communications, driving over $2 million in sales within 30 days of those communications. We charge for this value by charging $249 per month for 5,000 communications, and then 2 cents for any text message past that. And then this year, we're excited to launch in-app payment processing to further monetize our e-commerce channel. Since launch last May, we've been growing at an over 30% month-over-month growth rate, tripling revenue in 2021 to over $20,000 in MRR across 150 total locations and 50 retailers and growing. We've done this on the back of outbound sales with a 1-month sales cycle and 80% demo close rate, bringing inbound leads to our channel partnerships of POS integrations and retail consultants, as well as our bottoms-up motion of partnering with brands to invite their retailers and associates to the platform. In the next 3 years, we'll focus on 2,700 total locations of the 200,000 fashion and accessories and jewelry US boutiques. And then by expanding globally and horizontally, we'll get to $100 million in ARR in the following 3 years. I felt this experience in pain myself, traveling the world for brands like Giorgio Armani and Philip Plein in luxury wholesale. And then my co-founder, Travis, took several startups to product to market and tens of millions in sales. Once again, we are OneShop, social communication for retail.
All right. Thank you, Nick. All right, Robert, we'll start with you this time. Question for Nick.
Yeah. What do you think is going to be your biggest differentiation from other platforms that are solving the same problem?
Okay, thanks, Robert. Scott, question for Nick.
How will your customers measure the ROI of using your solution? Is it thinking about the change in LTV because retention is higher or sales are higher? I'm just curious how that'll get measured. Relatedly, is your target sort of the small boutique shop with an owner and 1 or 2 employees, or is it something bigger than that? Just curious. Thanks.
Thanks, Scott. Okay, background to Amit.
Thanks. 2 questions from my side. One is, can you talk about like how many customers like an average store on your platform has, like once they launch the platform? And then number 2, if you think about not a single store location, but multiple store location, if somebody's shopping at multiple locations of that retailer, how do you kind of manage that relationship and who's actually owning it and how those brands approached it?
All right, thanks so much. And from our syndicate, Tyler is also asking about the retention. Can you tell us a little about your retention? So I'll let you tackle those, Nick. 2 minutes.
All right, awesome. So Robert, I'll start with you when it comes to the biggest differentiator between our competition. So we're really focused on building for the individual sales associate and the manager on the floor. So we started with SMB to go to quick sales cycle and really get that feedback, but we're trying to build really a true bottoms up motion. And we have about 70% usage when it comes to a store versus the competitive market that's traditionally gone enterprise and then tops down, which has much, much less than that in terms of the adoption by salespeople. So really building for them and not giving them a reason to basically do their own system on their own personal cell phone outside of the store itself. So we built systems in place to really make it flexible to their needs and really building for themselves, which is why we introduced the brands, because they told us we want to be connected to our brand partners, communicate in-app between them, and order reorders. So Scott, when he talks about our ROI of our customers, this is the first time they've been able to get ROI off of this, and we give that to them. So before, it was completely decentralized. Their associates were texting their customers one-to-one. They had no way of measuring it, but we can show them how many of those text messages are actually converting to sales. So we look at a 14-day window and a 30-day window of, did that outbound outreach actually convert to a sale? And what was that demographic? Were you retaining a customer in terms of, were you having them shop more often throughout the year than they traditionally do? Were you regaining an old customer that maybe shopped with you on average every 2 years, and then they came in, twice this year because of that? And then further boiling down from there. And then when it comes to our target market, we are focusing on the boutique, but to mid-market as well. So when you go to the mid-market, they look like enterprises and they have a corporate office in New York or LA, but they have 10 to 20 to 30 locations across the US that are staffed by about 2 to 3 people at any given time. So even though they have a central corporate office, they look a lot similar to the boutiques that we work with a single location, because their associates have 2 to 3 people in the store. And then this sort of goes into Amit, your question versus, a single location versus multi-location situation. And then how many customers they have. Our average store, whether they're mid-market or small customer, will have about 3,000 to 5,000 customers in the database per location when they launch with us. And then in the first month, they'll engage about 20 to 30% of that in a personalized manner. And then when it comes to single or multi-location, we have something built in our platform where we'll be able to identify who the best relationship with is, usually who spent the most at which location. But I'll answer more of that question in the chat.
All right, great. Thank you, Nick. Okay, and for our 7th founder, we have Stan from Orapa. Are you ready, Stan? Great. 3, 2, go.
Hello, everyone. I'm Stan, co-founder of Orapa, the #1 marketplace for rainmakers. Meet Kim, a sales manager at a company called Loop Returns, and Kim is selling to e-commerce companies. Her company is doing so well that they recently raised a $10 million Series A round. Now Kim needs to drive more growth. So she's investing in software, in data, and even potentially hiring someone to manage all of it. And even though she will be spending $70,000 per year per rep, she still needs to wait 12 weeks just to see any results. But then she discovered Orapa, where without any hiring, without any onboarding, and without any training, she can get qualified to opportunities for less than $300 per intro. So Kim goes to a marketplace and specifies that she wants to meet someone in e-commerce who is the VP Director of Operations, and that she's willing to spend up to $300 for introduction for a customer within health and fitness. On Orapa, Kim meets Jan, a BDR from Firework, who has a large network of e-commerce companies. Jan goes to a marketplace, browses and finds Kim's opportunity, then sends her introduction offer, offering an intro to Jane, who is one of his customers at his day job. And he thinks he will be perfect fit for Kim. Kim can accept it or decline it. And if it's all good, she can wire money to Jan to our escrow account. Once the intro is confirmed, Jan will get the money. The end result is Kim just got a new customer, and Jan made $300 with just 2 clicks from his network. But the best part is that they can do it over and over again, unlocking a new distribution channel for Kim. And Kim says it's awesome just because she can get qualified warm intros to dream customers on demand. So we charge Kim a $19 subscription, plus we take a 10% marketplace fee from people like Jan. We are now at 81 customers. Then they on average get 30 new leads every month. We are now at 9K MRR, and with the start of our marketplace fee in January 21, we are adding around $2,000 in transaction fees. We did it using outbound, sending personalized outreach to dream users, and also building a referral program to get more rainmakers on the marketplace. We will hit $10 million by 2023 by dominating our beachhead market, which are companies selling to e-commerces, and by expanding to more mainstream markets like business services and real estate. We'll hit $100 million by 2026, with 1/3 being from subscription revenue and 70% being from marketplace revenue. I am an ex-pro Olympic athlete. I used to work at Cornerstone Europe sales partner, and my co-founder Dominic used to work at Samsung. Thank you. I'm Stan, co-founder of Orapa, the #1 marketplace for rainmakers.
All right. Thank you, Stan. Well done. Okay, investors, Andrew Gluck.
We have a few questions here. What is considered a successful introduction? Is it actually creating the meeting over email between the two different parties? And then is there any pushback against getting paid for introductions versus getting paid a higher rate and maybe a commission or referral fee on like actual successful sales, as kind of more typical?
Thank you. Andrew Lee.
I'm a little worried. The biggest thing here is I'm really worried that it's potentially just an international market and all it is outsourcing. So you got to tell me what's the secret sauce on the software. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you. Ben.
A little bit in the same vein as Andrew's comment/question. How do you think about preventing disintermediation of the platform? Because, at $19 a month, it's inexpensive. I get lots of leads, but the 10%, if I've got high value stuff, in the many marketplaces I've been involved in, people try to go around you. And how do you think about preventing that or making sure there's enough value in the platform so that I will not have the ability or desire to do so?
All right. Thank you. How about you, Cindy?
Yeah, so I've seen this solution before. It was like, wow, it's coming back. And the concern that I have is a little bit different one, which is how do you ensure that the companies that these people are working for don't see it as a conflict of interest, that they're sharing information about proprietary client information, making introductions, basically using data that they've developed for another company to make money on the side.
All right. Those are some great questions. Dan, you want to tackle those? 2 minutes.
Okay, so Andrew Gluck. So the successful intro so far usually is set between both parties. So usually, historically, it's just a meeting on the calendar. And so far, companies didn't really push back in terms of it's per intro or commission. We plan to actually introduce commission. So if the intro closes to the deal, you actually get a commission. But that requires some more software development. And to Andrew Lee, to answer a question about our technical mode. So far, the biggest challenge is to getting the high quality vendors. Just because if we get high quality vendors, those rainmakers feel very comfortable recommending software from our marketplace to others, just because we gather high quality vendors. So we are focusing on getting the AI to map those high quality vendors using multiple tools and multiple data points. So we do basically like a quick background check on the companies that get access to the marketplace. And Ben, so also this is the question to answer the question about how companies would go around us. They don't really feel comfortable doing so, just because the $90 subscription is not that high, but gives them a confidence. And the 10% that they are paying, it actually goes towards our dispute system. So far hasn't been used in the last 7 months of our existence. So it's a great system because we offer a $19 money back guarantee if intro falls apart or anything goes south. Cindy, to answer your question about conflict of interest, so far we didn't hear anything about conflict of interest. The way to go for the future is to build a quick analyzer of employment. So we take a job offer that you got and a letter of employment that you signed, the Rainmaker signed, and we see if there's actually a conflict of interest and also if there's any law that you are breaking, making those introductions. Thank you.
Okay, well done, Stan. All right, everyone, that's our cohort. Now comes the hard part. I'm going to ask all of our investor judges to give us your top 3. And we're also going to conduct a poll for our syndicate members to give us your top. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go around and call on you alphabetically, kind of like I did with the questions, and ask you to give us your top 3 in reverse order. So your number 3 and your number 2, and then your number 1 and why. So when you say 3 and 2, just the name of the company. But then when you get to number 1, please tell us why you voted for them. Okay, so Presh, why don't you launch the poll for the syndicate members? And everyone here, please, if you're going to vote, don't vote twice. So syndicate members, just give us your number 1. And I am going to call on the first person who is ready. Let's see, Amit, you are first in the alphabet. So I will call on you first. Before I do that, I am just going to make a plug, obviously, for our accelerator. You've seen these companies really super strong. If you have any companies that are in this zone, please send them our way. You can send them directly to me, Jackie, JACQUI @launch.co. We also have another product, which is our remote demo day, remotedemoday.com, for companies about north of 50K MRR or monthly revenue. Those are for companies looking to close rounds. So if they have rounds open with some commits, it's a great way to get in front of our syndicate. We do that monthly, and you can send them to me as well. Okay.
Tell them about the carry share.
Enough. And the carry share, 10% on the first investment. If you refer a company to us that we have never met before, not in our database, you get 10% carry share.
How many times have we done
Accelerator
that?
investment? About 20, 25.
Great. So we just do a side letter. It just says you get 10% of our carry, which on a 20% carry is 2 points. If that was Uber or Robinhood or Calm or any of those, it would be hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. So, and we've done it a bunch of times. One person did it 6 or 7 times. So they keep sending us great.
We have our all-stars. We do.
We have our all-stars in that cohort. We're happy to do it. And thanks for coming, everybody. I really do appreciate it. I'm glad the pandemic is coming to a close. I hope you all got your vaccines. If you didn't, you can get Shake Shack French fries for free with your vaccinated card. So if staying alive wasn't a priority, I am certain that Shake Shack French fries are. And we will be hosting a barbecue at my house for the last 3 classes in June. So we'll probably do it on a weekend, and families will be invited. And so hope you all can make it, and that should be a lot of fun. So
quite an invitation.
Yeah, you just have to have a vaccinated card. You have to be vaccinated, but you don't have to wear a mask. According to the CDC, no more masks, and you can go indoors. If you're vaccinated, you're good. You can go to a Knicks game. It's all good. You can watch the Knicks in the playoffs for the first time in 8 years. So I'll be coming back to New York for that. All right, I think I filibustered enough. Let's get the scores here, folks.
All right,
thanks for coming, everybody.
Okay, Amit, I'm going to start with you first. Can you give us your 3 and 2, just the name of the company, and then your 1 and why, please?
Yeah, number 3 is Boostopia. Number 2 is Blayze. And number 1 is OneShop because of the immediate pain point that they're solving.
All right. Thank you so much. Andrew Gluck.
Number 3 is Moment. Number 2, Spaces. And number 1, Blayze, democratizing access to coaching.
Thank you, Andrew. Andrew Lee.
Let's see here. Okay. Number 3 is FreeByrd. Number 2 is Blayze. Number 1 is Boostopia. Wait, okay. Whoa, time out. Wrong. Flip that. It's actually 2 is Boostopia. Number 1 is Blayze. And
does he have a soundboard?
I might, and I just want to correct you, Jason, that it isn't just Shake Shack. It's also a Super Duper was the first one to start giving out fries, but now you told me about Shake Shack. For those who,
yeah, man, until somebody gets some chicken nuggets or filet o fish on the board, I'm not getting vaccinated. Fuck it. I'm holding out for filet o fish. Do they punch your vaccination card?
No, they didn't. Here's the thing.
You just keep going back and get French fries at different locations?
Yes. You can.
I'll be right back.
Go back to Shake Shack or Super Duper and just show them the card multiple times. And if it's a different person, they can't remember you. So put on your mask. Do different things.
This is fucking genius. What a scam. What a grift.
Again, let's play this again.
And you can take an Uber for free. So just go to the vaccine site and then go to the Shake Shack next door. All right, come on.
This is why we're investors. The reason why for Blayze was I think there's multiple verticals they can go and tackle. A really interesting strategy on like going deep and then providing interesting technology against each of those areas. Initially, I've heard that, just get coaches, talk to them, but I really like the depth of the marketplace.
Word.
All right. Thank you. Ben, you're next.
All right. Well, I guess since we're all plugging things to do with your vaccine card, let's not forget Krispy Kreme. Because
what? That was my idea.
Nuts.
They did it?
Yeah, I think they were the first. Here we go. We got a lot of heat for like, hey, you get healthier with the vaccine.
Get diabetes. Get vaccinated. You can get your diabetes right after.
I haven't eaten donuts in years, but during COVID, man, donuts are my friend. All right, so number 3, Moment. Number 2, Orapa, and number 3, Space.
Number 1, Space.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's what he said. Don't ever correct me.
Okay. Just
please.
And the reason is that while I'd have a whole lot more questions, obviously audio has tracked extremely well in a lot of different environments, and to have what I understand to be sort of a controlled audio / almost interactive podcasty webinar space for companies versus a consumer focus sounds intriguing and could scale well if it caught on.
All right. Thank you, Ben. Cindy.
Yeah. So, Jason, I think you need to do what they're doing in Australia, which is you can't just show up with your card, which you now know you can fake, but you actually have to have the antibody test to know whether or not you actually took that vaccination and you generated the antibodies. So just saying, if you want a really safe barbecue.
Jason, you're on mute if you're trying to talk.
Sorry, my joke was, but that's because you live in a former penal colony in Australia. We just expect you guys to do something
You're not
criminal.
wanting to go to Australia. I get it. Okay.
No, I want to come home. I haven't been there in 2 years, man.
Companies there.
I'm waiting to come home. Got 6 investments there.
Okay, so mine in order: 3 is Boostopia, 2 is OneShop, OneShop. And I put Blayze at the top, and it's not a space I know a ton about, to be honest, but I think it's really unique. The target audience they're going after, there's going to be increasing demand for people who want to have that kind of coaching. The audio and video integration of it seemed pretty cool. So yeah, they made the top of my list.
All right. Thank you, Cindy. Laurel, you are up.
So it's interesting that so many of us chose those 3 in different orders. Very interesting indeed. I chose OneShop was number 3, Blayze was number 2, and Boostopia was number 1. I liked the founder a lot in Boostopia. I liked the answers to the questions. He seemed really buttoned up. I liked that he had all those integrations and partnerships with those companies that he was integrated with. And I do think that ticketing systems, managers for ticketing systems do need this solution. So, and I love that it saves companies money, which, means that it'll be sticky.
All right. Thank you, Laurel. Mercedes.
Number 3, Boostopia. 2, Moment. And 1, I must have gotten the name wrong. I was right. I wrote down Friday. I think it's the ones that's audio conversational chat.
Space?
Space. Yeah, I think I heard some other people say that.
Great. And why'd you like Space?
Space, I like the idea of, meeting customers where they're at versus sending them off to other platforms. And I think the early use cases he talked about in terms of founders getting in touch and having a sense of it is useful. I also could see a world where you can, handle from a call center perspective, a lot of volume on that too.
All right. Thank you, Mercedes. Robert.
3 Blayze, 2 OneShop, 1 FreeByrd. I like FreeByrd just because I like platforms right now that are making tech more accessible to more people and enabling small businesses and others to improve their operations by making tech more accessible.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. And Scott, sorry, you'll have to unmute yourself again, Scott.
Space, number 3, Boostopia, number 2, and we're B2B investors, and so I will say that some of the B2C companies here, I would be a customer of. I think you're building great businesses, but I'm not smart enough to be an investor in consumer-facing businesses. But great presentations, high-quality companies. It feels like it gets better every time. So kudos to the launch team. In terms of number 1, I put OneShop. I am a believer that over the next several years, we're going to see a very strong rebound in local commerce. And that is a market that has been ignored by the tools community. And so tools that help you raise the LTV of your existing customers are something that businesses are going to be willing to pay for. I also think the data set that you'll build around interaction, similar to how I thought about Boostopia, but the data that you'll build around interaction at OneShop is also something that will be of great value.
All right. Thanks, Scott. I appreciate the build up at the end for the number 1. Okay. And I think this is going to be close. So Presh, what is our final score for today?
Okay. So for today, in first place, we've got Blayze with 8.5 points. In second place, we've got OneShop with 6.5. And third place is a tie with Space and Boostopia at 5.5.
Okay. And for the poll, we have Boostopia first and Blayze second and OneShop third. And what is our grand total score? So we do this over a 14-week period. And so our top 3 of the 14-week period. Presh, what is our grand total score?
Okay, grand total. First place, Boostopia, 137.5 points. Second place, OneShop, 132.5 points. And third place, Blayze with 100 points.
Amazing.
All right. Well done, founders.
Congratulations, everybody. Let me know if you want the flat part of the brisket or the point, the fatty part.
Both.
There we go. And if you're a vegetarian?
If you're a vegetarian, don't go to the barbecue.
And you're not going to get an invite.
We'll make we can make if you're a pescatarian, we can make a nice smoked salmon that comes out great on the smoker, and we can also make some nice smoked eggplant as well. So we'll be taking orders, and the smoker will be packed with some ribs. Got the beef ribs working, got the brisket working, got the pork shoulder working, got the salmon working. It'll be a nice barbecue. Some good smoked meats and veggies. All right, everybody, great job. Thanks for coming, everybody. Send us your great companies.
Please.
Don't be bashful. The syndicate did 6 deals last month, and we have 14 deals on deck. We'll probably do 10 deals this month. As a firm, we're on track to do 100 deals this year and over 100 million. So we have ramped up significantly. We'll do more investing this year than we did in the first 6 years of my career. So it's quite a pace, but we're finding great companies at reasonable valuations, and we like to build a 15% position, 10 to 15% in our companies, and we like to do that with you, with syndicate members, with seed funds. So if you have a deal and you're trying to get that last 500K in, or you want us to co-lead with you, don't be bashful. Just hit us up. You guys got my number. You got Jackie's, Precious probably, and you can see some new faces here as well from our team. And for founders, remember, focus is what it's about. There are many companies, and it is a zero-sum game. If they told you it's not a zero-sum game, they were giving you the wrong information. Investors can only write so many checks, and if they write a check to you, that means the other 99 people who they met with that month or quarter are not getting checks. So thank you, Andrew. So lest your parents gave you or your peers or your education the impression that everybody's a winner, I can tell you that is not true. Most people are going to lose, and very few will get funded. So treat it as a competition, and you will do much better. And focus, growth, recruiting great people, having a great product, customer, growth, product, customer, and growth. That's just what it's about here in Silicon Valley. Anything else they told you? Probably virtue signaling or a test to see if you will fail it. Just stay focused on building a great team that builds a great product that delights users and grows. That is the flywheel. Team, product, customer, growth. Team, product, customer, growth. Don't forget it. I'll see you at the barbecue, everybody.